Behind those trees is Dykes Point. I'm studying the Acadian architecture of the dike system in Aboiteau and Baie Verte, and using satellite pictures, I trace maps, lots and lots of maps, and there was one line that intrigued me, and Dykes Point was this line here. So, but every time I went to Dykes Point, it was always high tide because that's pretty much the only way you can get there because there's no water around it. It's very, very shallow. And anyway, so one time I get stuck there and the tide went down, and I was able to find what this line is. Now I'm making this video, and this is the line, and this line turned out to be made by a spade, and most likely around 1690 to 1755. So let's watch it.
Okay, going back to Dykes Point and Oak Island. It is almost low tide. As you can see, I got about 1.5 feet of water, and there is no water between that Dykes Point and Moses Point. So if you miss the tide, you're stuck right in the middle here. And that's not fun, because that's many hours of being lonely, I guess. Nothing to do. So measurement today, this marsh peat moss is very spongy. So solar panel installed. There's no going out of here for next probably 4 hours. I'm a well anchor. I'm going to start to walk around and find that Aboiteau and take some videos again.
So I've been here for a while and I finally found what I came for, the line. But the tide's already rising and I wasted a lot of time searching around the beach on the other side where it's all rocky, and I came back here and here's the line. And let's follow the line. So clear, and it's in the underwater most of the time, and this today is a very low tide. And here we go. I knew it. This is an Aboiteau, a carved Aboiteau. And carved Aboiteau, well, for what I learned about Baie Verte, it can be something between 1690 to 1755. Amazing.
And see the groove right here, and there's a peg right here. And this is carved. See how nice it's done? And you can even see the A's, look there, with the axe or whatever tool they use to carve that. So the door must be here, right here. And this is the thickness of the timber on each side. This is at 1-3. The floor and the A's work. This is amazing. Wow. And I don't know if you can see that. I'm just not gonna wash it. Wash more. I can see the blade saw, the blade mark. I mean, one and one and one and one and one, and it's not an angle. It's straight, 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 straight. So maybe this was cut with a sawmill, a vertical sawmill. One cut, one cut, one cut, one cut, and so on. So I'm gonna try to leave that here for the rock on top. So I don't know if this is part of that or what that doing here. Anyway, let's put it back here and put the rock on top. Yeah, definitely the door was right here against that.
Oops, tide is rising, and I can only come back in the spring 2020. And I forgot to take the measurement, and the tape is in the boat far from here. So let's go get it.
Anyway, I need to take a measurement. So listen to my measurement machine. Now it's easy to see the outline of the post here, the black line in the water that joined back pretty much with, in the green patch over there. So measurement quickly done. Please record. Okay, the width 1 foot 2 inches. Let me put that under the rock here maybe. There you go. And the length 13 feet 7 inches. The carved channel 6.5 inches. Okay. Let's follow this channel. And this was dug like 300 years ago. But the earth on each side is gone, and the clay, this is the clay, and the piece removed was probably like a big piece right here. Move remove each piece, moving the shovel, the shovel.
Okay, we don't say shovel. We say spade. That's a spade.
The spade forward. So here was some kind of marsh to be drained here, because this probably was not all flat land. There was probably many default into it.
And it's just amazing that 3 inches of depression, that width, can be seen from space. And without that satellite imagery, I will not have found this, because I always approach the islands at high tide, because it's very hard to approach. The shore at low tide is so far, and there's barely no water in the bay to make it to the islands too. So just a lucky day to find this trace of 200 years ago.
On m'envoie au champ, c'est pour y cueillir. On m'envoie au champ, c'est pour y cueillir. Je n'ai point cueilli, j'ai cherché des nids. Au champ de l'alouette, je veille et je dors. J'écoute l'alouette et puis je m'endors. Je n'ai point cueilli, j'ai cherché des nids. Je n'ai point cueilli, j'ai cherché des nids. J'ai trouvé la caille assise sur son nid. Au champ de l'alouette, je vais.
This wasn't our super discovery for me on that day. I can see the traces of the spade left in the clay as they remove the peat moss to build the dike, and you can see it each time they move the shovel forward. It breaks the roots and free it from the clay, and then wave and bad weather this fall uncover this, and when you touch it, it's very very mushy. Thought they were like a pattern of wave first, but it's not that. It's the imprint of the work of the spade 300 years ago, and and now it's all exposed, and it's very very soft. If I walk on it, it will just disappear. And this was the channel, the inner channel, and the material was removed from this channel, the parament, and to create the dike, and then the posts were also added to protect that dike. And a few feet further, same thing again. Look at this piece of parment cut in 1750 with a spade. Wow, perfect, perfect example. And this is the post line, and most of the posts are gone. And this is the dike, and on the left, that is the inner channel. And soon, the what's left of the dike will slip into the bay. And in the background, you see a much better shape, much better preserved dike. This is the last moment of this dike. If the grass was going that direction and they cut a piece off, those are the pieces they put in place. That that a piece here, and the grass is growing up, and the roots were. Oh, what's this? Oops. Maybe that's French. So the piece that I see that seem to be upright, and if they already have grass on it when they took it away and they put it back in the same direction, I think that would be called the parment. And so if this, and you put that on top, you're raised by what, a foot, and they become your dike. So this may be the natural ground back then, and those can be the piece of parment that put upright, and the grass and the roots are into it, and they start to grow, and that became the dike. And on the other side was probably some of similar as here, but over time it got eroded and it became a beach. So how many men does it take to cut an inner channel, take that stuff and put there, and so on, so on, so on?
Direction. I'm going back in now, so put that here. Clip that inside the bucket.